This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 920 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip, Nate Chambers and Joe Meyer from the Eventing Radio Show offer some great advice on teaching horses to jump ditches. And we'll get right to our tip after this important message from Kentucky Performance Products.
This Nutrition Minute is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, the company that simplifies your search for research-proven nutritional supplements at kppusa.com.
The horse that matters to you matters to Kentucky Performance Products. Feeding your horse starch-laden grains can lead to colic, laminitis, and metabolic disease. Today, nutritionists are recommending the use of high-quality fat to provide healthy calories. Fat is an extraordinary energy source. It's readily utilized by the horse and contains more than 2 times the calories of starchy grains. Replacing grain with a high-quality fat supplement reduces a horse's risk of developing health problems. Equijewel Stabilized Rice Bran is an excellent fat supplement. It contains a balanced calcium to phosphorus ratio and won't cause mineral imbalances when added to the diet. Its all-natural ingredients are high in healthy fat and fiber. And best of all, horses fueled by Equijewel stay calmer and more focused on the job at hand. When you need to add healthy calories to your horse's diet, choose Equijewel. To learn more, visit Kentucky Performance Products at kppusa.com.
This Nutritional Minute has been brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. You can find all of their terrific products at kppusa.com.
And we're back here on the Nate and Joe Show, and it's just that time of the show for Nate and Joe's Tips, brought to you by Martin Collins Footing. Now, Joe, I think we've got a great tip to go over this week. You were just talking about your preliminary level stallion that won over the weekend, and you mentioned that he'd been a bit ditchy, and you've jumped him over every ditch in Ocala. What are some of the things you did to help get him over that little bit of fear?
Well, I mean, it took ages, and he really didn't like ditches at all. So basically, what I did was I started, and I found the smallest ones that I possibly could, and I went to certain schooling areas like Longwood, for instance, where they have a small ditch that's so small that it doesn't even look like a ditch. I did things at home where I put down a big piece of black poly pipe and put a rail on each side just so that it looked like something on the ground, just to start to get them to used to that sort of thing. And then quietly, slowly but surely, went up a step and up a step and up a step, getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and really made a lot of the horse tell him he's a good boy all of the time. What became difficult was that he started to get a bit more confident jumping his ditches, but then going out to a competition where I couldn't do a big run up at it and go really, really fast because there was a jump on the other side. And so, I was doing well at the beginning where I could put a bit of pace on and get him over it, but he had to start to want to do them himself. So we just spent a lot more time. And like I said, I think I've jumped every ditch in Ocala. I didn't jump the ditches at Rocking Horse. And when he went there and jumped his ditches this time, and he's done the ones there he's never schooled over before, I'm starting to feel that now he's a bit better. We did do one thing at home in our schooling paddock. The guy came with a JCB, I don't know what you call it here in America, but to do something with the neighbor's septic. So while he was there, he dug us a ditch in the paddock, built our own one, which he jumps every single day. And just when I'm finished my jump school, I pop him over, I give him a big pat, I tell him how well he's done, and he just seems to get happier and happier and better about it.
I think one of the things you brought up that's really important in terms of ditch training is, when you've got just an open ditch out there, you can come at it with a little bit of pace, and, that does help just to, give them the oomph to get over it. But then when you start having the ditch in combinations, you can't do that. And so, really training the confidence into the horse and not just, the momentum and boldness to be able to make it happen, because you can't rely on that once you start, moving up the levels.
Yeah.
So what did you do to, start to help to transfer from, being able to just hit the ditch with a little bit more pace, to, making it an actual technical question that he understands and, can go through smoothly?
Well, I tried to bore him to death, to be honest. I think I went back and forward and back and forward and back and forward a squillion times. And each time he got a little bit better, I'd start to go a little bit slower so that he knew that he could get to the other side. But now I've gone to a point where I still have him from my leg up to my hand, but in a way that he can look at the ditch and know what he's jumping and start to get comfortable with what he can see. And then once I feel confident there, I move up to another ditch, which is a little bit bigger, and do the same thing. So I might go back and forward a couple of times, and as he gains in confidence, I start to go a bit slower. So he really understands that he's jumping a ditch, not just going very fast over a hole in the ground.
Well, there you have it. Nate and Joe's tips, jumping ditches with ditchy horses.
Well, there you go. And you can tune into the Eventing Radio Show every week at eventingradio.com. And for even more fun and information from your smart device, you can now download the free Horse Radio Network app for iPhone and Android. You can have every show with you wherever you go. Just go to the App Store and search Horse Radio Network. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily, because they make these podcasts possible. Today's podcast has been brought to you through the generous support of Kentucky Performance Products. You can visit them online at kppusa.com. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.